Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 521. That's right, folks. We made it. We're now in an odd prime number, I think. I'm
Just
not going to
now?
guess.
Is this the first
I
one?
think we are. Man, no,
Okay.
probably not. Oh, well,
Yeah.
but we did it again if we
Math is
didn't
bad.
do it before.
I don't
Yes.
like it.
This is your guide to the geek side, and I am Todd Oxtra, coming from the wonderful world of Minnesota, where, you know what, folks, we're bringing episodes tariff-free. So you know what? We already have a deal
Ooh.
with the White House.
So close to the border. Same here in Michigan, too, though I'm on the other side of the state from, I was going to say from Narnia, from Sarnia. If you follow I-69, you go right into Narnia as you cross
That's
the border
right.
into Canada. There you go. It's good stuff. Don't slow down in Port Huron. But anyway, hey, we've got another great episode for you this week. We're focusing on the Thunderbolts. A little bit because that is going to be our first big summer movie coming out right that first weekend in May. So it's just 3 weeks from now, which is crazy, which means we're going to have the kickoff to our summer movie wager. We'll be having our friend John back on to talk about that annual tradition, the battle for Shizor. April pointed out to me I have 3 Shizors now, so if I lose, it's okay because I have the original figure. I have the Black Series figure, and then I have the statue, which is our winning. So doesn't mean I want to give it up. I do love that Shizor. He came
the
from
trilogy
Grand
of
Rapids.
Caesars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be talking about that on the show in the Discord, and if anyone is interested in joining a SFU movie wager contest, let us know, and we will share more details very soon.
Right. And just to clarify, the wager for Shizor does not, unfortunately, extend to anyone else. I'm just bragging about it. But we'll
Unless someone wants to buy another one, and then we can have 2 Shizors. Yeah.
I bet you could find one very affordable because it's an original Shizor.
Yeah, we need a
PVC.
Madam Web figure or something. That could be like the other.
There is
trophy.
one back there. I don't know that it would travel as well because it's a bobblehead. You know what I mean? You'd have to really.
Well, they do make that. Didn't they make one that was back in the animated series? Didn't they have a figure of Madam Web?
Oh, probably. You could find it at a dirt flea market or something. But anyway, more on that as time goes by. But as we get things rolling, we'd like to do a little segment called Paying the Bills, where we talk about the wonderful folks over at our Secret Friends Unite Patreon, which is, if you go over to patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, you can get exclusive programs, early shows without ads, Discord benefits for 7 days for free. And as Todd is typing in as I'm speaking, now 50% off your first month once that 7-day free period ends, no matter what level you end up choosing. So that's a nice perk. And as Todd mentioned in our last episode, we're exploring other ways because I know that a Patreon that I belong to, if I subscribe for a year, I saved a percentage off. So we are working on that. We'll get it sorted. But these wonderful folks are already on board with us and have been. We got a pretty solid list of people that stick with us, which I'm pretty happy about. My buddy Derek Trevelyan, Francie, who does my wife's hair, she's got an appointment later in the month. Gonna do something crazy with her hair. Was thinking about changing her hair color. I don't know. Xbox expansion pass, Mr. Luke Lore, and my awesome Uncle Tim down there in South Haven, as Todd mentioned on another recording, commented on one of our YouTube videos, which, that's a big deal for him. So I appreciate that. John Sedorf, the awesome Phoenix Sisters Entertainment, Kelly Crayley, Brendan Myers, Corey HD, Matthew Keel, our friend Kurt Krug, who has helped us so very much getting all those great interviews that we have over on the Patreon, and our friend Tanya Lee, who I talked to her just today, and she'll be joining us back on Code 47 here a little bit later in the summer doing a guest spot. But we do have the awesome folks, the top tier family, for which we would not be able to do much of this stuff. That would be the Nias family, Sean, Stella, and Henry. And we will also be welcoming, as we said last week, those 5 new people into the fold who won our Patreon contest that was sponsored by the Nias family. So we are very grateful for that. One more time, feel free to visit patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Check out all the perks. Get your first month for 50% off and try it for a week for free. Todd, what is going on with this cover? We were talking about this in the pre-roll, but May of 1975, this was 1 month old Todd. It would probably wipe his nose with this comic. So what's going on here?
My parents did not take me to the comic book shop the month after I was born. At Revco, I don't even know if they carried comics at the time. Don't know. I don't even know if Revco was even built in 1975. Okay. We don't know. But in this cover, it's Daredevil 121, The Man Without Fear. Charlie, my goodness, this is like the good old days of Daredevil, where
Big
he had
time.
to share the spotlight cover with Black Widow, co-starring the deadly Black Widow.
Oh, that's right.
The title states, Danger is the Dreadnought, the Hydra super robot with a license to annihilate DD. Just him, apparently. Apparently,
Yeah,
have to
DD.
fly for different licenses to kill other people. It's the mighty Marvel Renaissance moves ahead, apparently, because of Dreadnought. And then plus...
Stan Lee wasn't even writing the comics at this time, but his shitty dialogue found its way into all these covers. It was like, this is the most exciting comic magazine you'll read this month.
Exactly. It all changes here. And you know what? We get the tagline at the bottom. It's probably the best part of this comic is the fact that the unparalleled excitement of Foggy Nelson, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Don't ask how, just don't miss it. So I guess we would have if they didn't put that tagline on.
That is all. And again, by the mid-70s, Stan Lee was out of the comic writing business and he was on to other things. But according to something I saw about Steve Ditko recently,
being sexy on talk shows at night, doing game shows, going to Japan to see if he could sell licensing deals.
He was doing that, but he wasn't really like Kirby and Ditko were doing a lot of the actual writing and
showing
also
up at the
art.
Playboy Club, hanging out with his brother Hugh Hefner.
Oh my God, were they brothers? Stop it. Maybe.
No, they just look very similar, and especially like when Stan had like his open collar like leisure suit, and
God,
yeah,
it was absolutely tremendous. But good stuff. But yeah, you're right. This was Daredevil when he was more of a traditional superhero, battling like villains or being involved with like the villainous organization. So the Hydra or AIM, or as I brought up in the recording, the Magia, because you can't say the mob, you have to say the Magia.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
What is Hydra doing in Hell's Kitchen? I'm guessing they're not there. He's somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he used to. Yeah, so and he was never a member of a team. So it's not like, he was part of the Avengers and blah blah blah. But in the box about Foggy Nelson perhaps inferred that he was doing something with S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D. was Hydra was to S.H.I.E.L.D. as like Cobra was to G.I. Joe. It was the same kind of thing. So they fought all over the world and blah blah.
Did they need legal assistance? He was like the official lawyer of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time, maybe?
I guess, every S.H.I.E.L.D. office needs its own blind costumed lawyer, I guess. I don't know.
No, Foggy, though. Foggy was.
Foggy,
so
okay. You would have to imagine there's a legal branch, just like there's a legal branch in all the militaries. Judge Advocate
has
General,
to prove all have the Hydra, the helicarrier flying over New York. Have to probably pay off the FDA as it puts out not just diesel fumes everywhere. Yeah, that's food. It's probably like poisoning the people of New York.
It's being held up by just rotors. Point because in the old one it was
all
like
the birds just go up through the rotors and get like dead like blood coming down from the
that old helicarrier was ridiculous because it looked like a Zeppelin, but it had like you should find a picture and post it. It had like rotors. But anyway, I would imagine there's a good chance this book is discoverable probably on Marvel Unlimited or somewhere else or in a trade paperback. But I would be curious, even though I'm not supposed to ask how, I would still like to know how Foggy becomes the bird-saving lawyer of S.H.I.E.L.D. as an agent. But anyway.
Oh, and Charlie, and I love how this art that I'm reading here, it actually even had a famous Hostess cupcake ad with Spider-Man, and it was called Spider-Man in the Trap.
Oh my gosh. And the Trapster?
I guess it was a Hostess ad, which were the best things in the world.
Oh my God, totally amazing. Well, the real brain power behind those Hostess ads, I bet you didn't know this. It was our own news correspondent, Madam Web. That's what she was doing in the 70s, making that Don Draper money writing Hostess ads. But these days, she works for us. She's down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. All the latest news and scoops, including CinemaCon. Can't wait any longer. Let's go for it.
Now it's time for Madam Web's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Web. It's that time of the year where it's going to be the Easter Bunny hop-hopping around. Unfortunately, due to the cost of eggs, we'll have to replace them. So Madam Web's time to shine. She has found a secret clutch of I believe she called them platypus eggs, but I don't really think they are. I think they're actual like snapping turtle eggs, and kids will not be happy with them, but parents are like, whatever it takes to make their kids happy with some eggs.
I saw
enjoy those
I saw
snapping
something
turtle eggs.
about fertilized eggs ending up in some grocery stores, so chickens hatching. I don't know, something I saw in one of those wacky.
Okay, put your candle up to the light,
programs.
your egg up to the light. Look
if
and
it
see if
starts
there's a little
doing
baby.
this,
If there is, that is your Easter present. Of course,
then
it's
you
now
don't-
been cold and dead. So don't get a zombie chicken for your kids, folks.
Don't.
do
It
it.
is. It's going to be all kinds of trouble. But anyway, CinemaCon happened
Yes.
last week, and we learned about a bunch of new projects. Or we saw, rather, we should say clips from, because some of the things I see noted here are projects that we already knew about. But yeah, we've got a list, and I'm just looking through this, trying to figure out some things that I haven't heard before. Are you familiar with Project Hail Mary by any chance? I don't know that I've heard of this one before.
It is going to be basically a story about us going beyond our own borders to save America and the world with space exploration. That's what it's about. It's basically Project Hail Mary. It's based on a book, I believe. So, and it's going to have a great cast. Filmmakers Chris Miller, Lord, Ryan Gosling. What could be better?
Oh my gosh. I guess. Well, yeah. Don't ask Disney about Phil and Lord, but new. Yeah, I'm a new trailer. I don't know that I've seen this again for Final Destination Bloodlines, and I know we saw a relatively recent trailer that revealed quite a bit about the plot line of that.
Yeah, a lot of the things shown at CinemaCon were not released. They have not been released. They are saying that they're actually going to have an event, though, like on a weekend coming up, where they'll show like the trailers there, and you just pay a fee to. It's going to be a fundraiser, actually, would be kind of cool. But a lot of these we haven't seen trailers, like The Running Man. I'm very excited for this movie. Nobody has seen anything, and this is coming out at Christmas, I believe, and I'm very excited about this. Basically, it's a new take on the science fiction. The Stephen King book that is different than the Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's not like a remake or a reboot. It's just basically more true to the book than the original Arnold Schwarzenegger ones. But Glenn Powell's in it, and Edgar Wright's directing it. That should be amazing.
He does good stuff. Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Does sound like there was a trailer here. This is Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie as strangers who find themselves on a fantastical adventure together as the GPS unit on their cars lead them through the magical doors that enter memories from their past. Wow, surreal. I guess
those are some very attractive people.
Yes, exactly. So they'd be doing so.
Will they have their real accents, though? Will we get like Colin Farrell with his really heavy Scottish accent, and then we'll get Margot Robbie with an Australian accent?
Well, Colin Farrell would be Irish, but yes, I get your point.
Is he Irish? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, you can't tell. He's so good at accents. Who knows where
exactly. He sounds like the penguin. He sounds like he's from Jersey.
He won't be wearing. Hopefully, won't be wearing the penguin outfit. But we've got a new Stephen King adaptation in The Long Walk from Hunger Games director Francis Lawrence, about a group of boys who have to keep walking till only one is left. Mark Hamill is the bad guy. Cooper Hoffman, who is the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, David Johnson, Charlie Plummer, and Ben Wang. And I was going to say the picture below is Ellie Fanning, but she's not in this movie.
but Ben Wang is the new Karate Kid. In the new, he's also an American-born Chinese. He's a really good actor. Yeah, this one's supposed to be kind of creepy. And September 12th, and seeing Mark Hamill being bad guys again. He was in the House of Usher, which he was the really bad, mean lawyer. And I love it. I'm glad that he's getting to do more things because he's so talented, and he actually puts everything into what he does versus certain other actors from Star Wars.
It's so funny because he's the inverse of the actor that you've talked about who now is doing stuff and you're like, just please. I said it when I saw him in a Scotch ad yesterday. I said, please just stay home. You know, where Mark Hamill during those middle years, he didn't have that big success. You know what I mean? After Star Wars.
He worked for every role he got. He, being the trickster in the Flash series, becoming a voice actor, doing all these weird things. And it's like, man, you killed it, Mark. And he just loves people.
Yeah,
he loves everything he's gotten.
He's an endearing talent, and he's having big success on social media. I know I follow him. He still does shows and stuff where
he's just as relevant as he has ever been. Not many people can say that after 50 years in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, 50 plus, absolutely. We're getting 2 Predator projects this year, but one that we're getting from Dan Trachtenberg that we learned about at CinemaCon is called Predator Badlands. I'm assuming it's going to play over that awesome Bruce Springsteen song because that's all I think of.
Western, I'm assuming. Badlands, maybe Western. Yeah.
And Ellie Fanning plays a character who helps him along. So she's like the Predator's spiritual guide or something. That sounds crazy. Like who's helping the Predator? That sounds like that's more of a villainous role. So that's kind of crazy.
Kind of. And then, well, I mean, unless he's helping, like, gonna take down the bad rancher or something like that, then,
Right. The bad
But there's also, Dan Trachtenberg is also executive producing a Predator animated film that's going to be on Netflix. So, there was a trailer out for that too. So he's really all over owning the Predator, which I'm like, he's the Predator godfather. So I mean, like, that's really awesome. He has one vision of quality and he's going to make it work. So I cannot wait. And this is actually going to be a real film release versus being put on a Hulu. Which,
so in the theater. So The Bride, I like this. What if you took Sid and Nancy, Natural Born Killers, and Bonnie and Clyde, threw them in a blender, poured them over Universal monster movies of the past, and maybe you'd come close to The Bride with Maggie Gyllenhaal directing. This is her take on The Bride of Frankenstein, also with Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. I mean, the real chameleon. Is he Frankenstein's monster? Is he Frankenstein, or is he just an angry villager?
And Jessie Buckley, I don't know much about her. Irish actress and singer. So she's a redhead. So there you go, Charlie. Yeah.
A lot of Irish people are. Weapons, a mysterious second film from Barbarian director Zach Cregger. God, that was a great flick.
Yeah.
We learned the film is about a teacher who goes to school one day to find the entire class is gone, not homesick. The kids all ran into the woods overnight and never came back. Well, that's unlikely to go well. The incident sets off what promises to be a wild story. I like it. Nice.
It reminds me of there was another story about what is it? Something is killing the children.
Oh yeah,
horror film we saw or the comic we read. So that's kind of cool. And man, Barbarian was so out of left field. Man, if this dude has got a good idea and it comes together, let's go.
This is the third film in the Now You See Me series. Had you seen any of those? Magicians?
I have not. There's three. Okay, and I heard there's going to be a fourth now. No.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people doing magic tricks, right? And doing heists with magic.
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't necessarily fire me up because it kind of sounds like it's
I'm sure it's fun heist film with a lot of people.
I don't know if I saw the second one, or maybe I did. But what is Bob Odenkirk? Sorry, go ahead.
So Nobody 2. So this is essentially a sequel to a movie that I really like. Bob Odenkirk essentially is John Wick. He is like a non assuming guy who you find out that he's actually a former FBI, like CIA assassin, and he ended up coming unglued and actually revealing himself as that to take down some people that were doing some no good stuff. And it's coming back with a sequel. And essentially, he's on a family vacation. So this is like the family vacation gone wrong. That temper of his starts some problems, though, and he gets wrapped with a major crime syndicate. So I really liked it, Charlie. If you like Bob Odenkirk, he's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Doing this role that you wouldn't have considered him for. I'd check out Nobody, and this should be a lot of fun. I thought he did great in that role.
Talented guy. I'm going to leapfrog over Avatar because I think it's going to kind of be the same. But Chris Pratt stars in Mercy. He is a law enforcement officer who helps create an AI that acts as judge, jury, and executioner. Kind of scary considering some of the things going on in this country these days. But then one day, the AI arrests him for killing his wife, which he didn't do. He's got 98 minutes to take the 98% likelihood that he killed his wife down to 92%, all while being locked in a chair. So it's like Run Lola Run, right? Or it's just a taut thriller.
Or like this is a lot like Minority Report. It's basically innocent until proven guilty. Can you stop people before they commit crimes?
Guilty until proven innocent. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what this is. Chris Pratt. I think he needs to take a break for a while. Let's make us want to miss him for a while, because he just keeps being in things, and it gets to be like you really need to like.
He's kind of like Will Smith was back in the day. It's just he's the same in everything. That's definitely what I noticed in him out of the what was it? The Electric State that was on Netflix that I watched recently.
I skipped it because I just felt
he's just Star-Lord.
I mean, more of the same.
I talked about it here on the show. He's just Star-Lord in that, and it's like, why bother, right? All right, Ballerina, that's out this summer. That's the big
we know that.
John Wick shoot up.
Him, we can skip that.
Yep. Ooh, let's see. Oh, Black Phone 2. We love that. That was back in 2022 or 23. I'm curious how they're gonna do this one because it was set in the past. It was 2021. It was set in the past. Yes, the children who died by the hands of an evil man called the Grabber helped kill him from beyond the grave. In the footage of the sequel, it seems the tables have turned. Now he's gone. He's like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he's using the Black Phone to return from the dead and terrorize the survivors. Oh God, yeah, it's like he's like going from being like just a dude to now like the what was it the Shocker movie or whatever where he was the criminal who got killed on an electric chair and he can go through phone lines.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. But yeah, no, the movie's great. And of course it's out in October, so spooky time. So yeah, that's basically what we got out of Cinecon. So lots of cool stuff going on. Now, Todd, this next story here, you had mentioned Spidey Brand New Day, but I think that was an older story because I think we've had that name for a while. Oh, there's no link on your next one.
Oh, I just put that in there. Yeah, the next.
But I can riff on it.
Yeah, that we know what the next Spider-Man movie is going to be called.
Right.
Yes. Brand New Day, based on the One New Day. Was it One New Day?
It
Brand
was.
New Day?
Yeah, a lot of people were getting
One Last Day.
Their knickers twist because it was the one where Mephisto split the two Peter and Mary Jane apart was called One New Day. This is Brand New Day was just a new number one, and it was like now Spidey's got a new lease on life and blah blah blah, and that's really kind of where we left Tom Holland's Spider-Man at the end of that last film, is that nobody knows him, so it's a brand new world for him. So I get that. What I was trying to tell you is you did not hot link the next one. But I know what it is. But what were you looking at when you put the headline?
Yeah. So when I put that in there, so Cold Slither is one of my favorite parts of the G.I. Joe cartoon. Basically, Cobra thinks the best way to take over the world is through music and dominate the minds of young people by creating a band with the Dreadnoks called Cold Slither. They perform. I don't know who the lyricist was. I don't know. Dr. Mindbender, maybe. This was his original lyricist. I don't know.
And if everything goes well, I'll be speaking to Larry Hama later this week, doing an interview. We'll see. But he was not involved in the cartoon, so that might not help. But yeah, I know that Cold Slither, and again, without having anything to look at, several weeks ago, they announced that one of the exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con would be a fold-out, like kind of interwebbing box set for the G.I. Joe Classified series, which I collector. I've kind of wrapped up collecting them, really. But that would have these figures and their various accoutrements with the guitars and the whatever it is. But and I know there's a separate line through Super 7 or the Reaction line where they kind of have the look and feel, and they've actually gone back to doing the O-rings, like the old G.I. Joe, where the O-rings in the middle that always snapped, and you try to replace it with a rubber band, and then your guy was just wobbly. That they're doing that as well. So
that's not the real story, Charlie. The real story, though, is there's actually a Cold Slither album coming out. They're making. That's the whole point. So yeah, so we're going to get they will get an exclusive set of the series released at San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. But we are also going to get a performance, I believe, at San Diego Comic-Con. And the track has been released on YouTube, which you can listen to. Now it's been re-released with more lyrics with a real band. Link it. And then it's the link. I just put a link into the stories. But yeah, I mean, I think this is great. I think we already know there's the Cybertronic Spree is basically it's people dressed up like the Autobots, and they perform songs. Not only just they do cover all types of songs, but they're dressed up like it. RC is the lead singer, woman, and it's great. So I love it.
It's like Gwar. Remember Gwar, that band from the 80s?
Exactly. And just imagine like you're trying to perform when you're wearing all this gear, and it's like, oh my God, that's really difficult. So I want more of this, Charlie. I want more ridiculous things coming as bands.
I know you love kitschy crap. I know that's your wheelhouse. So this is definitely that.
Charlie, that is everything you love is kitschy crap, because you know what is, all the stuff we love, it's goofy. You love the Star Wars holiday special. If nothing, that is the kitschiest of the kitschy. So you can't put me in a corner.
I never made such a claim. I treat it with the same
you just try to make people watch it every year with you, because you're like, you don't want to be by yourself, like drinking what is it? What's the one drink that
The Jawa juice,
White
the blue milk.
Russians in a tattered robe as you watch that and say, my wife is doing fine.
Did say this is the year we're gonna make our mark on that. I've been on podcasts where we talked about it before, but no, I wouldn't say any.
I've been on one where I talked about it too, not with you guys, but someone else.
Any particular reverence, but yes. So that is all happening this summer,
very soon.
Yeah,
so
GI Joe is one of those crazy properties that they've not had the support of a show. They've not had the support of a movie in several years that has really gotten anybody's attention, but the brand is strong. The comics are strong.
Off the love
the figures are strong.
40-year-old dudes.
Exactly. So that's you don't want to hear the repeat of what you just said. Living off the love of 40-year-old dudes. You're not calling the episode that. I'm going to tell you that right now.
No, not at all.
Vote it down. All right. Well, something else that everybody loves. So we got a 1-2 punch with Batman, because moving forward, we're going to have 2 different slices of Batman on the big screen in live action. So we have the Batman, which is Robert Pattinson, that we had in that movie. God, was that back in 2022? 2022. Okay. 2022. So we still, and I just watched that movie relatively recently and discovered how much I actually liked it. The Penguin kind of sent me back to it. But we've got an update, a script update. Now, script update, it's not really filling you with a lot of confidence that you're going to see this.
As James Gunn has said, he's not greenlighting anything without a script. So if there's no script, he's like, it ain't happening. And wow.
Yeah. So he is, because he is the czar, for lack of a better expression, of DC films, even though this Batman is not part of the continuity that he is currently crafting within Superman, and the film's coming out this summer, and Supergirl that'll be out next summer, and yada yada yada. So yes, there's an update confirming that it is a work in progress, and even if principal photography started at the end of this year, that would give the writer Matt Reeves a chance to complete it, but still something that goes into
fall 2027. That's fall 2027.
Yeah, that's
5 years in between, which is that's okay.
It happens, but I feel like the more there's so much. We always talk about the fact that there's so much entertainment out there. The longer something is out of sight, out of mind, the longer something is away, the less chance that people are going to really glom onto it and be excited about it. So if you're like, well, it took us 20 years to make this movie.
Charlie, it's not like it's the Chipmunk sequel. It's not like it's the, I don't know. What's another thing that's like, oh, that we haven't talked about that. Like I'm trying to even think of anything. the Muppets. Yeah. The Muppets came back. I mean, the best we had was,
do you think this is really going to kind of split the infinitives here with 2 different Batman films on the big screen, and they're not related? Is that because has that been done on the big screen kind of contemporaneously?
The closest we have is the Spider-Man and then the Spider-Verse films,
right? But animated versus live action, so these would be 2 live action films. So
or the Lego Batman films and the Dark Knight. I don't even know when those happened.
You can see that connection. But talking about bringing James Gunn's vision for the DCU, that film is going to be called the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. That's the word, right? Correct. That's kind of what they're locking down on. And
it's going to have Damian Wayne. It's going to be more tied to the Bat family. Yeah.
So I'd let and again, I throw this in here, not having it be like, oh boy, this is really news, but a guy who's really kind of aflame, and he's even in the movie I'm going to talk about in the Geek Easy, is Brandon Sklenar, I think. But he was the main star of 1923. He was the big badass in that show. A good guy, not
is
the
he
big
a
bad.
Dumphy? What are they called? The Dunhams? The Dumphies?
You're thinking of D-Man from the comics. They're the Duns, the Dark. Just keep throwing out more D names that sound redneck.
The Dunder Mifflins,
the Dipsy Doos.
They were paper ranchers back in the old days. Is that what they did back in the day?
Yeah. They just had fields of rolls of paper that they had to move from one place to another and hope that they didn't melt the rain.
Those reams are rolling, rawhide,
whoopah, whoopah.
We got some 25 weight paper there, boys.
You just pinged the name of the episode too.
I don't know what it is. It's something.
Paper Ranchers. But anyway, yeah. So
Paper
Brendan,
Ranchers,
yeah, Paper Ranchers. So yeah, he is apparently talking to DC, and the headline says DC might be listening. But the other, I know that, and this is not in this article, but I know that Alan Ritchson is beating it up, wanting to be Batman. Is he too big?
Buy him as I just don't think he's got the gravitas in regards to like being smooth. He is big and he is imposing, sure. But when you hear Jack Reacher speak, I don't get, wow, he's so suave. Or he sounds like a billionaire, and he could be a man of high society.
I mean, it's acting, so it's going to be different in every bit. But
Charlie, we've seen him in a couple different roles, and he's always kind of plays the same guy. So I don't know about his range, right? He played Hawk in Hawk and Dove. He was
Aquaman in Smallville, where he was
I don't know how he played.
He was a dude, bro.
Did you ever see that Blue Mountain State comedy that he was in, where he was a honking football player?
I saw a clip from it, and it was a humorously slanted clip, but no, I've never seen the show.
It's a sex romp TV series, yeah.
But anyway, I like this Brandon. I'm going to call him Sklenar, which sounds like a Star Trek.
Does he got gravitas, Charlie?
I think so.
If you shave the mustache, is there more there?
I don't know how you're going to get that mustache off of him. It looks like he was born with it. But yeah, I think that he's got some good buzz. And he's
Charlie.
Yeah.
We know what a mustache did to DC the last time. We cannot have another mustache bring us down.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think DC could handle 2 mustaches in one lifetime. But yeah, I think this would be good casting. And again, Todd, I know we're not going to get you to watch a Yellowstone, but 1923 was good. He was good in it, and I think he could be good in the role. Anybody else come to mind for you that would be a great we'll call it Batman. So B and B, Batman B and B.
It's a shame that John Hamm never got a chance. But of course, he's turned into more of a comedic actor lately versus a real kind of like straight on actor in regards to like doing like more of the tough roles. He got
soaked up by SNL. He was the host this week. It was.
Oh fun, yeah. And he always does a great job, and he just takes it on the nose. Good question. Glenn Powell, I think, could do it, but obviously he is so like tied into other roles that I don't think he really cares about that. He doesn't need it. I don't know of anybody off the top of my head. I'm not too into the, what are the news series? Like I think of like all the big series that are out now. Like, are there any actors within those that you see like, oh, they could definitely nail it? I know they wanted Jensen. Was it Jensen Ackles for a while? I'm like, no, he's too old. He could play Batman Beyond. Bruce, maybe.
Well, I guess I guess it depends on where they're swinging. As far as
there's no real type though, because we've had look at all the different actors we just had. I mean, you look, they're like all of them are so different that they all play it differently. So I'm okay with anybody.
And it's so funny that you should mention different types of Batman actors, because that segues us right into our next story. That Michael Keaton, the Juice, Beetlejuice himself. Oh, I've said it 1.5 times. I won't say it again. Looking like there is going to be
that's a great
sequel to that film. I did write BJ in the notes, so I'm sure that you will fix that. But yeah, the BJ, I don't want to say the name twice, which came out last fall. Actually,
do you know BJ's is a club company in the East Coast?
My mother goes to one, which is I'm sorry that I just said that just now, but she does shop at one. But that movie, I did not know this. Globally pulled in $451.9 million on a $100 million budget. So there was no doubt that they were going to crank out another film. But that's an iconic role for Michael Keaton, and again, range, right? Because he's comedic, he's very serious. He can play a horror bad guy. He did that in different films. He's got a lot going on. He could be the villain. He could be the hero. I never did. I've seen clips.
I never did either. I heard that was awesome. That's kind of like really brought him back into like, wow, he still wants to act and he still wants to do big things. And yeah. I mean,
so yes, I was going to say Warner CEO Mike DeLuca said the ink is not yet dry, but it will be happening imminently. And we still have. Oh, you're making a face. I know. I know. It's tough with Warner Brothers, right?
No, I just think it's tough to go back to the well again with Beetlejuice right away. I know I
Yeah.
enjoyed the film for what it was. I just feel like nostalgia played so much into that coming back, and it wasn't horrible.
I can't
But
give
what
it
do you do
another.
for a third
They
film,
can't
like
give it
just
another
2 years
35 years.
later?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, and again, they're I'm sure they're looking to strike while the iron is hot with Jenna Ortega. I
Oh,
mean, she's the only other Hollywood girl right now who's not on the precipice of being canceled, like Rachel Sigler. I mean, she's still
well,
pretty clean and
and
hot
it
and
sounds
bankable.
like it sounds like Tim Burton may not even make this because he's not one known to go back to do sequels. I mean, he hadn't made sequels
Yeah,
before, except for
right.
I mean, I'm trying to think of anything he's done. He hasn't done any sequels. This is the first one, and for him to go back again, I mean, he's getting older in
Yeah,
age too. He's probably like, well, maybe I wanted to go back and do a Edward Scissorhands film where now it's like he's crocheting
he's crocheting.
Edward Edward
Scissor hands.
pickleball hands. Because
Oh,
now he's
that
older.
would be crazy playing pickleball if somebody had 5 rackets on their hands. My God, it'd be even my
He'd
dad
have
could
2 in his
shut him
hands.
down. But yeah, you're right. So you're right. In the article does make that point that if let's say if Burton ripcorded on this project, he didn't want to be a part of it, would that pull everything apart? Because look at the last Indiana Jones movie with no Spielberg. Was that the reason that it fell off? Is that why people really didn't like it because it didn't have the driving vision, or was it something else?
I mean, and the way this movie ended, I mean, are you just like, oh yeah, we brought him back again because he came back again? I mean, it just feels like, and then Catherine Harris character is gone. Winona Ryder, yeah, she's still around. Justin Theroux, I think he died at the end. I can't remember.
Yeah, he
Monica
did.
Bellucci, Willem Dafoe. So I mean,
he was Ghost. Yeah,
I just don't know that you can really go that direction again and get lucky. I think it would be a horrible decision to go back, but that's not me. I mean, making those decisions, I just know that bad ideas can happen, and Hollywood typically makes them. But Warner Brother wants to also make updates to The Bodyguard, Charlie, The Matrix, Practical Magic, Gremlins, and The Goonies. So they love IP.
Were they just grabbing at Gremlins and Goonies, the G and G? Yeah, you're right, and I did absolutely hear about that. Well, Todd, you might appreciate this. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they were joking about the Goonies on a radio show. They are big geeky fans, but they were at the morning radio show here. Jason, Alexis, sorry, not Alexa, Alexis. If you
don't
have
say
Alexa
that,
at
I'll start
home,
talking to
Alexa,
you.
shut up. But they were talking. They want the real Goonies though. They weren't like, oh, I can't show up tonight. I've got my colonoscopy. Like these are adults with real problems, or they have to take their cholesterol medication before they go on a journey. So I'm like, yep, I'm all in for the I'm too old for this crap Goonies, but they all have to do it. And like, oh, my back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still gonna make it.
It's got to be very tongue in cheek, right?
Yes.
We shall see.
Oh, you didn't take your back medication. You took a little blue pill. That's not going to work for 4 hours.
Oh yeah. You'll be something else will be straight, but it won't help you. It won't help you back.
Exactly. Sword fighting.
Anyway, so that is not going to be the name of the episode. All right. Well, Todd, you'll appreciate this. There's no sterner critic of Star Wars out there than yourself. That is what I have learned. But Tony Gilroy, who is about to deliver the second and final season of Andor in less than 10 days from when we're recording this, we're very excited. The trailers have been incredible. That show is peak Disney Star Wars to me. But he's hinted that there could be a new type of project, a Star Wars horror film kind of project in the mix. Now, we love horror films here. We talk about them all the time. And the photo pictured is obviously pulled from Ahsoka. You'll remember that on the far off planet where Thrawn and his surviving stormtroopers were, they were with the Night Sisters who were witches, and some of them were just straight up zombies. What would you think about that? I mean, do you think that's the territory that Star Wars needs to get? They need to break that ground, or is it a good choice, bad choice?
I mean, you can do horror in any franchise if you plan it right. I mean, if you think about it, yes, they have the Night Sisters, which lead into witchcraft. Then you've got horrific creatures already that are just aliens that could be lined up. And wasn't there a one-shot Darth Vader's castle horror?
Like a comic, but it was for kids because it wasn't published by
Marvel.
For kids?
Okay.
It wasn't published by Marvel. It was there was another company that it's also licensed out to, but I think still maybe not considered canon, but yeah, it was Vader's castle, but I don't think it was horror per se. But then there was, Lego Star Wars Halloween horror. Maybe you're thinking of that, yeah.
So, I mean, you could pull off horror in Star Wars if you do it right. I mean, talk about being what does horror typically mean, Charlie? It's like cabin in the woods. It is haunted castle. It is aliens where you've got a small group of people fighting to survive around an unknown force that can't be explained.
Right.
You just is there any other? I mean, that's pretty much a horror premise typically,
Right.
and they could really nail it. Now, if they do it good,
right,
I think Tony Gilroy could do it.
Right.
Now, could it be done horribly wrong? And then we could get a bad
wrong? Right.
I mean, what do you want? Rabid Wookiees? I mean, it could be like Cujo. You could get maybe
Ewoks
Gremlins with. Yeah, you could get you get rabid Ewoks, you could get Gremlins, but it's like the Yoda people. Just have a bunch of Yodas that way they put in, because we've never seen them get wet.
Nope,
we didn't see them eat things.
There's only three Yodas we know. There's Yoda, Yaddle, and they gave birth to Grogu, but they wouldn't claim him. You know what I mean?
I mean, what else? Monster movie. We got mummies. We've got
mummies, which is what they did with
vampires. Do we have anything like that's a similar vampire or sucking like life force elements?
Like people? They had the Screaming Citadel in the Marvel comics, and that I'm trying to remember. Kind of had some of the like psychic vampire. I think of Buck Rogers in the psychic vampire. Remember that?
Oh, he was if we ever get back to finding where, well, I do have the DVD, so I can watch the Buck Rogers season 2 if we ever want to get back to that. I would definitely do that someday.
Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, so we could get there. I mean, we could have like Frankenstein's monster reanimation. We already had it with clones and bringing back, Palpatine. So there's elements you could do it. I just feel like if Star Wars does it, they just sometimes try to get too cutesy, or they get the wrong talent to do it. And I don't know, Charlie, maybe I think, what about this? Not a film, but how about a one shot, just like Werewolf at Night?
Oh, there you go. Same kind of thing.
Something like that. Yeah, black and white, and just play like, hey, we found an abandoned Star Cruiser that was left over from the last war, and they go to find it, and they find something really bad.
Yeah, they're all there's
a creature out alive.
The creature they were working on, like in the last Alien movie, or one of the last Alien movies, where there's a hybrid. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, experiment gone wrong. All right, well, we'll see. Like I said, the Andor that's coming up. The first season was so exceptional. Jump out there, watch it right away. But you'll be seeing that on the 22nd. But it was Tony Gilroy who made that, who had this to say. All right. That's it for the news. Todd, how do you get there so fast? You were there the whole time. Why aren't I there? Did I not get an invitation to the Geek Easy that I have to get a cab or an Uber, and I have to sit and wait? I'm standing outside in the rain, and finally the guy gets here. I get in the cab. He's got the radio going, and I would love some variety. Turn on the Yacht Rock station, but before he does, I hear this very familiar advertisement.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
Cover band's playing. Drinks are been drinking. And we are ready to get our nerd on at the Geek Easy. Well, this week, I just finished watching the first episode of Devil May Cry. So if you are a video game fan, Netflix has now adapted that video game franchise into a new animated series by the guy who also did Castlevania. Charlie, you probably don't know anything about Devil May Cry, but this is
at the end of it, does the devil cry? Or is it just a clever title? Okay, very good.
So this is like uber cool action dudes from the early 2000s. Dante is a demon slayer. He's super cool, wears a trench coat, listens to overtop like rock music when he fights with either two weapons or a sword. And he's making quips. He loves pizza. And he just has a good time being awesome, cocky demon slayer. And along the way, you find out his brother is also a demon slayer, but also a badass demon king. And just craziness happens. And this show is over the top. And this is what the show is. I love the video games because it's just over the top, fun action, killing demons. He's a super cool dude with white hair, slicked back, has adventures, says lots of quippy phrases. And the show... It just knows what it is. It sets it off the credits at the beginning, starts off with Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. If that tells you anything what this show is about, it's like that. It captures the video game. It is such like just fan service and goofy, dumb fun. I love it. I will see if there's more to it, but it's pretty light fare. Maybe it expands, but for me, it's just what I needed, just something goofy and dumb. 30-minute episodes on Netflix. Check it out. I don't know if there's anything to say. If you're not a Devil May Cry fan, there's no reason anyone should check out this because you'll be like, what the hell is this stuff? And I'll be like, it's really nostalgia.
It's that good, huh? not really for the broad audience.
It's good if you like those things. If you're looking for like good from anyone else's estimate, they would say, no, this is horrible. So it knows what it is, Charlie. And that's exactly what they made it for. But something that I did catch up on, you talked about it last week, but I finally caught up with the first 3 episodes is The Studio. I find the show to be basically, it is, if Larry David was no longer just hanging out in his own neighborhood being grumpy, but he went back to Hollywood and became a studio president, this is what it would be, because it is essentially this is Curb Your Enthusiasm. I know you haven't watched much of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't believe.
Can't get around to where is it? Where is that?
It's on Max. It's on Max. All the seasons are there. The early seasons they're a little bit crunchy, but as you get into it, it's Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld because Larry David is George Costanza, and it's his sense of humor and the things you get into. Like, exactly. So if you liked The Studio, you will like Curb Your Enthusiasm because it's exactly the same. You've got a guy who wants to be loved.
Yeah, isn't his wife Cheryl Hines though? I don't know if I could watch a show.
Well, they get divorced in the show.
Okay,
they get divorced. They have you don't even know why they're together. She's obviously attractive. He's an old dude, old Jew guy. I mean, and he's like, he is Jewish. He talks all about it. It's very, but he is a grump, and he gets into the. Charlie, you will love it. You will love it if you get into it, but you do, like I said, the first couple of seasons are rough because they look like they were filmed in like the mid 90s. So he's got like big phones.
And it was from the early 2000s, and then didn't it stop and come back? Yeah.
No, they just they take years between because Larry David was like, I don't need the money. I got Seinfeld money coming in. And he has brought back Seinfeld members. He's brought back, he brings in like Ted Dance, and he brings real people in, and he's got his regulars. Like Richard Lewis was on the show for many, many years. And they just had a very fun relationship. They just loved what they were doing. It's great.
We just can't possibly take on another show, but maybe someday. We're juggling too many shows right now. There's just so much.
Well, it's been around forever, Charlie. It's still there. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to get canceled because it's been around for. I think it's on season 12.
When he dies, if I haven't watched it by then, I'll have a reason to watch it. Just make it your next comedy because there's not a lot of new comedies coming out these days that are like more than one season, if that. Oh boy,
so Hacks is only on for 8 episodes. After Hacks ends, watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's right. Hacks is back. I didn't even think.
I watched one episode. I'm like, I'll eventually get around to it.
I was gonna say I would. Yeah, I would. That is something that I watch, but I won't even bother.
So.
But yeah.
So wrapping up the studio, I know you talked about it. I have loved every episode. Is just ridiculous. It's a different thing, and I love the fact that Seth Rogen so wants to be liked. His inability to make real decisions and the stick with decisions are great. I love the cast, all the idiocy.
Did you
all
see?
the nonsense.
Did you see the 3 episodes that are now, or just the first one?
No, I saw all 3. I saw all 3. Yeah, love them.
I love the Ron Howard in the second episode. Oh my god! And he says, they make it say, cross me again and I'll fucking kill you.
I love the second episode the most. I love the second where he is doing so many bad things during the shoot. Yeah. I mean, it's like, dude, right. And then his car is blocking. Like, oh no. That is exactly, is exactly the son of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's exactly what made that show great. It's just like everything goes wrong and everybody's trying to look good. And Catherine Hahn's great. Great cast. Great. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious what 4 does, because it's like, who are they going to bring in next? And what thing is going to be absolutely hilarious? So check out the studio. If you like behind the scenes Hollywood stuff, how the sausage is made, and a lot of cringe-worthy stuff. Bryan Cranston, great too.
Oh God, that's
very
right.
Good.
They did get him in there
with a mustache. Yeah.
All right. So and that's over on Apple as well. So we're dabbling with Apple right now. But my friend Tamara asked me, watch this movie. And it's not like it was great, but it was kind of fun. It was over on Max, called The Parenting, and it is a demonic possession kind of horror movie. It's got Brian Cox as a dad. It's got, oh my God, I'm drawing. Oh, Lisa Kudrow as a mom. So it's like you're bringing some talent in the mix, but it is about a same-sex couple that rented an old house that is in oh God, and who is? I watched this a week ago and now I'm forgetting. It's haunted by a spirit. No, my God, I'm mixing up movies. Now I can't remember. Oh my God.
It's got Parker Posey in it. It's got Vivian Bang, Lisa Kudrow, Dean Norris, the guy from Breaking Bad, Brian Cox, Edie Falco,
Nick
Dodani, Brendan Flynn.
That's the couple. Oh my God. Yeah, I was drawing a blank because we started watching a different horror movie that was so bad we turned it off, but I think my brain started to gel these together. But anyway, this is kind of fun. It's a cursed house that Parker Posey as a child was involved in a supernatural event there, and then it jumps forward, and then she still lives in the neighborhood as an adult. She might have something to do with it, but yes, it has to do with demonic possession and all the hijinks along the way. So original production, like I said, I had my friend harass me about this for several weeks to watch it, so I just finally acquiesced, and you know what, it was fun.
Did you feel bad? You're like, yeah, that thing you thought was the greatest thing ever, it was fine.
It was fine. It's good.
Yeah.
She was like, this is whatever.
That's my life.
Did you watch it yet? No. Well, you really should watch it. Oh, okay. It was, you know what? Hey, it was the thing to watch until the weather gets nice.
Completely serviceable.
Yeah, spend time outside. I guess we have to watch more TV. All right. Weekly trip to the movies. And again, we had a couple of weeks where we kind of skipped because we would just even look at the selection and be like, that's too dumb to even think about going to see. And this movie was right in that space, but it was a Blumhouse movie. So we thought, Blumhouse, there might be a little bit of something to it, but we've been seeing this trailer and I think you and I probably talked about it, but it's predicated on airdrops.
What's the name?
As a
What's
plot
the name
device.
Called?
Just Drop. It's just called Drop.
It's not called Just Drop. It's Drop.
It's Drop. So it has to do with this woman. She's a psychologist. The movie starts with a flashback where, she had a violent husband who was going to kill her and then it ended up taking his own life. And then she flashes forward to present day and she has a 5-year-old boy who's special needs and her sister helps out watching the boy. And she's finally going out on this blind date with the guy from 1923 with his big mustache.
Oh, that's him?
Yes, that's him.
I didn't know who that guy was. I'm like, he looks familiar, but I haven't seen any of those things. So he's not familiar at all to me. He just has a familiar face.
He will be a familiar mustache, and he still had his familiar mustache. And he's the charm. But she's meeting this guy for a date. He is a photographer. It's set in Chicago. He's the photographer for the mayor's office.
Of course. Now I know why.
Yeah, she shows up at this fancy bar at the top, at the top of a Chicago high-rise, and she's waiting for him, and she starts getting weird drops on her phone. and they get increasingly more menacing. And again, I'm just pulling this from the trailers. They get increasingly more menacing, and then eventually they're telling her, I've got I've got a guy inside your house with a gun. He's going to kill your kid. He's going to kill your sister. You have to poison the guy you're sitting across from, but you can't let him know. So, it's a pretty serviceable, kind of predictable 90-minute deal happening. It's very typical in these horror movies where people say and do things and exaggerate things that would never happen in real life. They keep making, with everybody in the movie keeps making a big deal of, I'm on a blind date. It's so hard to be on a blind date. It's so hard to meet anybody. And the hostess is a character, and the bartender is a character, and the villain. Not, they really soft shoe you into figuring out who the secret villain is because, it's somebody in the restaurant who's watching me on a camera and listening to my conversations and all this different stuff. So, but even just watching the trailer,
predictable. Is it like you can see it like from a mile away once you actually get into it, or is it like,
pretty
did not
much
see that coming?
But it's really like a lot of other Blumhouse movies where it's just like, okay, well, they didn't spend a lot. There were like 2 sets for this movie. The only thing that I was left figuring out from the trailer is, at what point does a window get blown out and she's hanging out the side of this window? I'm like, how are they going to work that in?
Like, that went really far. I'm like, and I saw people dying off in the restaurant, and she's got stuff, hijinks going home. And then she's falling out of the building. I'm like,
but there's a lot of that, like,
this way.
It's Chicago, and I live only minutes from downtown. And I'm like, me and our friend Brian are taking a trip to Chicago. There's not a lot of people that live just minutes from downtown because that at the end of the story, she has to race to get home.
Even downtown, you're still 25 minutes from
right. I mean, she has to race to get home, but when she gets there, it's a neighborhood like the one I live in, which
is in Schaumburg.
It's in Schaumburg.
Hey, it's my medieval times over there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. So, perfectly serviceable kind of popcorn movie, and it's thankfully.
I was thinking about seeing it, but now after you told me, I'm like, it sounds like it's definitely a wait and see.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't dig too deep. I think would be my analysis of it. A couple of quick things. Handmaid's Tale is back. I can't believe the last time the show was on was 3 years ago, but this is April's favorite show. And we did a rewatch 6 months ago, just knowing that this was coming up again. So this is the 6th and final season, and it's compelling, and it's also very terrifying considering some of the things happening in this country right now. So it came out back in 2017. I thought
they all moved to Canada. I thought that's how they solved everything. They moved to Canada.
But eventually the Canadians gave them the boot. A boot. Yeah, the Canadians got tired of all these ex-Americans. So, at the end of the final season, our protagonist, June, who is Elizabeth Moss, and our antagonist, who is Serena, who is going to draw a blank on her name, beautiful blonde woman. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in Chuck. Who was the blonde woman in Chuck? What was Yvonne Strahovski. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
They end up on a refugee train together headed west. So that's really, it did a 3-episode drop.
West of Canada, so they're going to Russia?
West along the Canadian border, headed for Alaska, because they do reveal in this that the last 2 remaining United States, and they show United States flag with 2 stars, is basically the non-contiguous United States is all that's left. So Alaska and Hawaii is all that's left of America in this area. Now, it was funny. I was looking at it. Several parts of the northern U.S. are rebel occupied territory, but the rest of it is called Gilead, and it's this ultra religious murdering state. And there's been a nuclear war, so there are fallout areas throughout America that are just nuclear wastelands. So it's not a great place to live. But it's promised that by the end of this, because a spinoff has already been announced that will be set 15 years after this, that there will be some kind of big victory. You're just getting the feeling because
a sequel, you mean?
Yes, yeah, spinoff. No, new characters. 15 years later, a spinoff.
Okay, because I was looking. Handmaid's Tale originally came out in 1985, 1 book, and then they had a sequel.
No, I'm talking about the show. The show, not the book.
No, but I'm just talking about the book. There's only been 1 book, and so they basically have made a sequel called The Testaments, published in 2019. So I'm wondering how much of much of this.
Yeah, I mean,
is like,
and again,
because the series has gone so 2017 to 2025.
Yeah.
And if it's one book, could you really make
that's what I don't
seasons
know.
out of one book?
I doubt it. I'm sure they ran out of source material. And don't forget, back in 1989 or 1990, there was a TV movie that probably just covered
Sam
the
Neill?
Sam Neill and I can't remember who the female lead was.
Natasha Richardson, right?
Yeah,
Liam Neeson's wife.
Yeah, there you go.
Died of a. Was it? Should she die in like a skiing accident?
Oh God, I don't know. But anyway,
I think it was with Sonny Bono.
Yeah,
no, I don't know.
No, not with Sonny Bono. Come on now. But anyway, I can imagine that the book and that miniseries were probably pretty much in lockstep.
Do they cover the skiing accident?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're gonna get hit by a lightning bolt. Stop shit talking poor Sonny Bono. What did he ever do to you?
What is April going to do? This is ending. Like Outer World's going to like another series.
You mean Outlander, not Outer World?
Outworlds. Yeah, whatever it's called.
Oh, she'll find another She'll find another show. Inner Space. Oh, they can make a show out of that. I love that movie. So anyway, that's cool. And again, 3 episodes out now. I'm sure it's like a 10-episode season, so it'll be you've got that much more to look forward to. Final plug. Great conversation that Peter and I had last week. I have a working relationship with John Billingsley, who is an actor who was on Star Trek Enterprise. He was a doctor. He's very tightly associated with the Hollywood Food Coalition. We talked during the LA fires. He made it possible for me to sit down with his group that raises funds for research and then marches for pancreatic cancer research. It's called the PanCan Crew. The Trek Against PanCan. They have an event later this month. If you're listening to us when we come out, April 26th, they're marching in Los Angeles. They're also marching at 60 other cities around the country. But we had the chance to sit down and talk. John was not able to make it, but we talked with Jonathan Frakes, which was a huge thrill for me. Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker, my favorite Star Trek character. We talked to Armin Shimmerman, Quark from DS9, his wonderful wife Kitty, who was also on DS9, and then Juan Carlos Cotto, who was the brother of the late Manny Cotto, who was involved in the production of Enterprise, and then also of 24, which is another favorite show of mine. We had a great conversation with those guys. We kind of spread the word. I had a friend of mine who has been suffering with a lot of pancreatic issues, that when she saw my video, she was really enthused and is going to attend a walk here in Michigan that's happening on the same day. But this group of 5 people, all of them have been touched by this. Frakes lost a brother. Billingsley lost his mother. Of course, Mandy Cotto, who we mentioned, was the brother of JC, who passed away. And then Kitty, Armin's wife, is a survivor of 21 years, and there is a very, very low survival rate for pancreatic cancer. But that rate has gone up very high during the time this has been going on. But she also pointed out federal funding has been cut for this particular kind of research, which is horrifying. So anything that you can do, we have links in the YouTube video that we cranked out to visit the pancreatic cancer, the PanCan website. Attend a march if there's one in a city near you. Use the resources, contribute if you can. But we were really enthused by this and the generosity of these folks to sit down with Peter and I to talk about, because we did a split. We talked about that, but we also talked to them about their careers, and it was a pretty special experience for us. We really, really liked it. But if you can help support them, even just by going and doing a walk, find something near you, because so many people's lives have been touched by this kind of thing. So off my soapbox.
No, it's great that you did that, Charlie. Everybody's really like, that's amazing that it happened. When you told me, hey, can you get the video out there? I did it as soon as I could. And the fun part is it looks like the Brady Bunch. So if you're watching that, then there is the pancan.org is right there. You won't miss it. Get it. All the links there's links there. Check it out. It's a really good interview. A lot of fun. You took you asked me for a short, got you a short. So that's out there too. So check it out, enjoy, and definitely contribute, because pancreatic cancer can be one of the fastest killers if we don't have this research happening. So thanks for doing that. It was cool to see everything happen, and it's a great thing to use the podcast for.
I was very enthused to do it. But anyway, that takes us out of the Geek Easy. The time has come for us to get ourselves down to Land On Under. Got the Air Qantas app out. Hologram Tina and the mutants await to get educated about the Thunderbolts, less the asterisk. Let's go.
Welcome to another edition of
Thank you, Tina. The mutants have been gathered for a topic or a game to be entertained. And this week's Thunderdome, we're taking you through the comics of the Thunderbolts to get you ready for the movie. So, Charlie, this is right in our wheelhouse in college. I was big on comics. You were not collecting as many comics at the time. I was going to the shop weekly, and so tacitly, I think you probably got more information about comics at the time through me, because I was always stopping at the comics every week at MSU.
I don't even recall. I may not have even been getting like the home subscriptions anymore that were still coming through. Those might have all ended around that time. I don't remember
you getting anything at college at the time. Yeah,
I'm remembering that in like 90, 98, 99, that's when there were new launches for like Thor and the Avengers came back. There was a new #1 Spider-Man that John Byrne was doing it, so I was really into that. So I remember reading all that. But yeah, as far as new stuff, maybe not so much. But this comic came along and was introduced in an issue of the Hulk from, does it say June or January? I can't quite make that up. What was it for?
It's January 97.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Would have actually,
so it would have been the end of
yeah.
96, because remember the cover date is always 3 months forward.
And I got this issue because I was a Hulk reader, and not just because I had anything about this. So I got this comic, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's see what this is all about. Hulk was synonymous for introducing very weird villains and things like that. But we got the Incredible Hulk introducing the Thunderbolts. And that led into their first appearance, second appearance, which was Thunderbolts #1,
right?
Which was a group of characters known as Citizen V. Let's see, we had the Fix Techno. Yep. We had Atlas. We had Songbird.
Yep.
We had Mach 1. We had Meteorite, and then shortly after that, we got a orphan named.
Got to throw an annoying child, Jinx, which was funny. She almost looks like, at least her face, the Jinx from G.I. Joe, who was a ninja. So, but this was, and I think what really shot this into the stratosphere, because this took place during Onslaught, which is the big crossover event in 96, where we had heroes who just disappeared into a pocket universe. We lost the Avengers and the core characters. We lost the Fantastic Four. Was it just them? Was it just those two groups that we lost, or was there other characters?
It was FF. It was Avengers.
So it was Cap, Iron Man,
it was
Thor.
Hulk, and I think it was just the three major parts, because the Hulk wasn't part of the team.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the Hulk, because otherwise he wouldn't have met the Thunderbolts, because Thunderbolts showed up afterwards, didn't they?
But I thought, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Hulk wasn't in there. I thought he was in there somehow.
I think it was just pretty much FF, and then when you think of the Avengers, your core characters, Iron Man, it was the Heroes Reborn. It was all of your big Jim Lee, McFarlane, Rob Liefeld types doing, Iron Man, and it was rebooting them within a pocket universe. And then eventually the grand experiment didn't really work out, and then they came back. But while they were gone,
Heroes Reborn.
While they were gone,
so we basically got Zemo. So the original plan of the Thunderbolts was Zemo was going to take these previous kind of C-tiered villains and replace the Master of Evil. But when Onslaught removed Fantastic Four and Avengers, he said, let's fill the void. Let's bring another superhero team in, which I'll lead, and we'll call them the Thunderbolts. So these characters they brought in were villains that became previously unknown new heroes.
And that was the big prestige at the end of the first issue. And it was, at least to my regard, I was like, that's a twist that I don't think I've ever seen before. I think it was really well done.
So early. We wouldn't have been spoiled. Even like previews probably didn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing really special about this team. I mean, they kind of seemed okay, but nothing like, oh my God, these are the greatest new heroes of all time.
Exactly. So they had their run in an unspecified amount of time. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four, they came back, which is basically what we were talking about. Now, I don't really remember the circumstances, but at some point, Zemo just decides, hey, let's reveal the fact that we're bad guys, which was dumb, because then they became America's Most Wanted, because not only were they already super criminals, but people were probably pretty pissed that they had been pulling off this flim-flam. But they did, as they were on the run, pick up Clint Barton, Hawkeye, as a member of their team, which is, it's kind of weird, because Hawkeye was he came from, he was a
Was a
carny.
villain.
He came from the circus, and you're right. In his very first appearance, he battled Iron Man because he always kind of existed on the cringes. But yeah, it says they battle the Crimson Cowl, which is another version of Ultron, believe it or not. That was a faked out version of Ultron, or at least in his initial appearance. And Henry Peter Gyrich, that's one of your X-Men characters, isn't it? Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a government agent. He always wanted to take down. He was like a liaison to various superhero teams. And apparently he was brainwashed by Baron Strucker, who tried to assassinate the team and even shared body swap misadventures.
Oh, well, I don't really know what that means. But at the end of it, so it sounds like the series wrapped up because
with issue 50.
Yeah, because of this, the team receives a pardon and then they disband. So that's the end. Yeah. So that's kind of a cool run. I would assume, without looking, that Entire run is probably available on Marvel Unlimited and in trades and different stuff. That would be a fun reread. I may have to put that on the pile, because I did decide, I was talking with our friend Kurt earlier today, I really do want to read that whole Busiek Perez 1998 Avengers run, because I know originally I got through a portion of it and then I dropped off. So I've started it again several times, but I looked at my progress. I've read, I think, 6 or 7 of the issues, and it's about a 40 issue run. I think, I can.
Charlie, you can't get enough of Silver Claw and Triathlon. I mean,
oh, that's the issue I'm starting with. Triathlete. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Silver Claw. But anyway, so it's by this regard, it seems like the Thunderbolts were dormant.
So this would have been, they would have ended
years.
So issue 50, so probably 2001 is where that series ended at issue 50.
So they were quiet until 2005. But the Beetle, who is Abner Jenkins, they say Jenkins, which is what a terrible name, Abner Jenkins. We got to remember the Beetle.
Abner, I've never met an Abner
in my life
that wasn't a cartoon character that was a hillbilly.
Like little Abner.
I mean,
but he was a Spider-Man villain back in the 60s. So there you go.
Absolutely. So the Thunderbolts after this point got to be kind of then a team that was formed with different members. So sometimes it did have the same Thunderbolts that you had from the original, because you did see some members that wanted to stay villains, some wanted to be heroes because they got a taste of it and wanted to be there. So that's where we got some of these characters, which was Songbird Atlas. Yep. And they started the Thunderbolts. Well, God, I can't speak. And Johnny Gill from Belleville DeVoe.
Johnny Gill, not
New
Johnny
Edition.
Gill from New Edition.
No, not Johnny Gill.
No.
Blizzard.
Yeah, he was Blizzard.
Janice Val, aka Captain Marvel, now Photon.
Yeah, so Monica Rambeau.
Joystick, Chen Lu, the radioactive man.
Yep.
And they teamed up against the Atlantean terrorists, the Fathom Five, and Strucker's Hydra, Charlie.
Oh, I love this. And this was they also fought Swordsman, Swordsman has been dead and alive again, but he's now currently in the Daredevil series. He's the guy with the big mustache. That's Swordsman.
Yes.
And we did
confirm that he was actually the Swordsman in Daredevil, because before we didn't know, we assumed, but we saw him as a vigilante, which was fun.
And Kilgrave, who's the Purple Man, who is David Tennant. From Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Yeah, the guy that can tell you to do everything, typically horrible things.
Right. And it sounds like that was a pretty short run, maybe just 12 issues.
I could see that happening, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be, and again, 100% guarantee you're going to find that in MU, but that sounds like kind of a fun storyline. We segue into Civil War was a huge event in probably 06 or 07. Oh no, I take that back. The series did continue to run, or maybe they picked up numbering again, because you see that a little bit further down here. But in Civil War, the former Green Goblin led the next iteration of the group, a team made up of villains seeking redemption, which is kind of funny. That's what's going on with this West Coast Avengers title right now. So apparently it's a reliable leitmotif. Their purpose was to arrest all of those that avoided the newly formed Superhuman Registration Act, which was so
weird. The team is so weird. We got Bullseye. We got Penance, who was Speedball, who got basically started off disassembled because he blew up. And that's what that's kind of crazy. Radioactive Man, Swordsman, Songbird, and Venom.
That's not Speedball. You're thinking of Nuke. Nuke was the guy who blew himself, or Nuke Low. Speedball was the guy who he put himself. Oh, you're absolutely right. He puts himself at the end of Civil War in like this suit of like nails, like the Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Wasn't it the Iron Maiden, the old torture device where it was all?
Yeah, he basically. Yeah, I'm trying to think where it ends up with Civil War.
That's how that ends.
Yeah, he basically became. God, I'm like Nitro. Oh no, that's what it was. Nitro was the villain that went off and started everything.
Right, started
and
Civil War.
Speedball became Penance because he apparently wanted to become more extreme.
Well, I think
something like that. Yeah.
Nuclear blew himself up, and
damaged?
Speedball was there, and he felt guilty, so thus the penance. It's been a long time since I read that, but at any rate,
absolutely,
So Moonstone was the leader. So Moonstone was Meteorite originally, and Moonstone another Spider-Man villain. She directed them to perform heroic acts in addition to being policing. They eventually aided the Avengers against the Skrull invasion. So we're in the Secret Invasion now, the real Secret Invasion.
And you'll love this, Charlie. They went back to the numbering that you love so much. So that's how they went to issue 109.
Yeah, exactly.
127.
So that run was exactly that. So that was a longer run that happened throughout the aughts. Now we're into Hammer. That's with dots in between, so it's an acronym. Hammer's Thunderbolts. Osborn team ended up being less than heroic. Big surprise. They turned on their teammate Songbird after realizing they had different moral compasses leading to her ultimate demise, despite Swordsman's attempt to save her. Oh, so much drama. Some of the team joined Osborn's Dark Avengers, so the Thunderbolts turned into the Dark Avengers, which they were just knockoffs of looking like heroes, so they were pretending. While he created an entirely new Thunderbolts to act as assassins for Hammer, the secret agency he led that was replacing S.H.I.E.L.D. So S.H.I.E.L.D. was nudged out at one point, much like they were in the movies.
This is crazy, Charlie. I knew none of this. The team leader included field leader Scourge, a.k.a. Nuke.
Who was Nuke?
Eric O'Grady, a.k.a. Ant-Man, Black Widow 2, Ghost, Grizzly, Headsman, Mr. X, and Paladin. Talk about a really deep cut of characters.
Low deal. Next person to take up the mantle of running the team, Luke Cage. Osborn ordered the Thunderbolts to steal Odin's spear. Bad idea. They were captured by the Mighty Avengers, which was another Avengers offshoot at that time. Now we're in the early 2010s, okay? Following the capture, Luke Cage with Captain Rogers. He was not Cap at this point. He was just Steve Rogers. Blessing and handlers Fixer, Mach-V, and Songbird, so bringing back the characters from the beginning. Reformed the team with criminals from the raft, including Ghost, Moonstone, Juggernaut, Crossbones, who's one of Cap's big villains. Man-Thing. And so now we're up to issue 144.
Issue 144.
So they still hold
May 2010. So May 2010, we're still getting Thunderbolts.
So they stuck with that legacy numbering. The team faced a tough decision while battling the Asgardians. Faced Terrigen Mist. Oh boy, now we're in the whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. era, and fighting operatives from the Hand. After Satana Hellstrom joined the team.
Oh my God!
When
this
magic
is just crazy.
Threatened
How is
the
this
raft.
even happening?
I know. They allied with Doctor Strange. The Thunderbolts traveled through time and helped Captain America and Namor during World War II. See the time happening in issue 163. And then Luke through 164, and then it spilled over into Dark Avengers 175. Did they change numbering?
No, they changed the title. So they changed the title to Dark Avengers. Okay. So Thunderbolts became Dark Avengers, and it even says first issue 175. So it's like, imagine you trying to track all this together. Like Dark Avengers
you can only
number
do it
one was also 175.
Yeah, and a lot of this is sourced off of the Marvel Wiki and then from Marvel.com. But then we're now getting into now we're in kind of the mid 20-teens. Later other Thunderbolts teams formed under leaders such as Thunderbolt Ross. He was the Red Hulk by this point.
He had a team.
This group was not government sponsored and acted more as a covert strike team. The lineup was Flash Thompson, who was Agent Venom, because Flash Thompson had his legs blown off overseas in the army, and Venom made him a whole character. But of course now he's not Venom anymore, so he's in a wheelchair, which sucks. Elektra, Deadpool, and the Punisher. Oh Lord! This happened between Thunderbolts 2012 1 through 32. So they did renumber at this point. maybe for
So
the
weird,
last
but then
time.
they show, but then we got another Thunderbolts in 2016, number one,
yeah.
led by Bucky, the Winter
Right.
Soldier.
Okay, come back
and
around.
basically, and this is basically tied into that one series. What was it called, Charlie? With Koblik and the Cosmic Cube that took away. That was Steve was trying to get his superpowers back.
The Pleasant Hill. Pleasant Hill.
Yes, but what was the name of that series?
That was the name of a mini series. It was right around this time.
Yeah, what was the name of the mini series? What was it called?
It was called Mission Pleasant Hill or something. That was it, because it was.
Oh, I thought it was actually a title.
No, you might be thinking of the one where they had. Remember how Sentry was like, oh, Sentry's always been around. They had a character called Voyager that it was the same thing. It was a female character, like she's always been here, but it was the Cosmic Cube. I'm wondering now. I'm just wondering if it's all the same. But anyway, to summarize, to keep this going, Bucky's leading a different roster to make sure S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't start up that project again, which was to use pieces of to create a near omnipotent child named Koblik to brainwash supervillains into becoming superheroes. I think we're talking about two different things here.
And Hydra Cap, remember Hydra Cap? That was the whole thing. Like,
oh, we're not there just yet. Secret Empire.
Yeah.
Secret Empire.
That's what it was.
So anyway, we go through that. Eventually, Zemo returns to the fold. He led them again as Citizen V, with Thunderbolts, Moonstone, Radioactive Man, Fixer, Ghost, and a new addition, Jigsaw, who is a Punisher villain. And their goal was to rid New York City of the Punisher. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's been everywhere. And then if you are a patron subscriber, you'll be hearing in probably next week.
Yeah.
You will be hearing, or by Friday, actually, you'll be getting to hear about a very recent run of Thunderbolts, which is more tied to the movie that's coming out.
Yes.
So, man, Thunderbolts it's just kind of a weird creation that would you even believe, Charlie, it would have lasted almost 30 years now? Almost 30 years.
Let's not jump through the very last one. The latest team to carry, and I assume this is presently, will be an all-new lineup, and this says January 13th. I don't know if that's referring to this year that we're in. Led and organized by the Kingpin. Now, this, again, the Patreon segment that we are going to talk about, Kingpin's part of it. The iteration will return a team of killers and mercenaries such as the Rhino, Batroc, Taskmaster, Mr. Fear, and Star. I don't know who Star is. Their first task is to save the city or die trying from an army of space dragons in King in Black Thunderbolts #1 in shops January 13th.
This was from 2020, Charlie, so this was not even the most recent one. We read a newer version. This was just another version along the way to the one we read. No, this was from 2020, and the one we read was from 2023. So, where are the Thunderbolts now then? Is there a current there is a new run that is a lot like the one we just read, because it's essentially picking up that storyline. Well, once again, check out our Patreon to hear about the new series, and then essentially the newest series is following that. So I think we've caught you up with where the Thunderbolts have been, where they're going to be in time for the movie. So if you got time, pick a run you thought was interesting on all the things we talked about. And who knows where the Thunderbolts are heading next. Yeah, and if you need to quantify any of that, again, go to the Marvel Wiki and just type Thunderbolts. Those are the links that we used. We tried to summarize it without you having to read a ridiculous article and what does that even mean? This was your Cliff Notes version, but even this wasn't particularly oh my God, it was all over the place. But again, going back to my original thought, back in 1997, I thought this was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I had no idea. I had no idea going into it what it was going to be. It was Virginal Charlie. He didn't know comic books could be more than just villain of the week. Right. He had no clue. And then his virginal cherry was popped by being surprised by villains acting as heroes. You weren't also surprised. Nice try. You didn't know. You're like, yes, I Never.
did. Yeah,
I knew it. From day one.
Todd, your supervillain name is the Gaslighter, because you're gaslighting me right now.
I'm known for my gas, but not lighting it up.
Oh, thank God. But anyway, Thunderbolts is out May 2. And you'll be hearing in episodes coming up us talking about our movie wager, where we will talk about where within that top 10, if at all, the Thunderbolts will place within the summer movie pantheon. Our contest runs between the beginning of May and Labor Day, so we will,
and we'll do a review of the Thunderbolts. So
Absolutely.
we'll have that in the spoiler review that you'll get. Typically, it'll be probably the first week of May. That episode will contain that. So get ready for it.
And with that is the end of our program, friends. As always, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to go out there and check out pancreatic cancer research. If you can help out, please do. Todd, where do people find you out there?
They can follow me on Blue Sky at Todd Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite, at the Threads, at the, Threads, Instagram, and Facebook, at T Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite.
Those are the ones. I am at the big three, which doesn't include Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, and Instagram. I am at the C3, TheCeeThree, where I'm just having a good time. You'll see a lot of cat pics. You'll see pics of my wife and I out on date night and walking around Reed's Lake here in East Grand Rapids. But we also have a ton of fun over at our Secret Friends Unite Discord, a great spot to share memes, talk about geek news, and just overall have fun conversations. Find a link to that in our show notes. We would love to have you there. And with that, I will thank you one more time for joining us. Tell you that sharing is caring. To keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In a truck.
Yeah! Reams, get you rolling!
Woo! Rawhide!
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.